Alright, so I recently decided to go back and play Justice League and Justice for All 22 years after its initial release. And no, I've never played this game before. The game, however, is based on the early 2000s cartoon Justice League. I grew up watching that cartoon, so I had a little bit of context to some of the stuff that was going on in the game. Off the whip, Lex Luthor is up to no good, and Superman and Wonder Woman set out to try and stop him. Superman and Wonder Woman fight their way through the streets of Metropolis until they get into Lex Luthor's building. Lex Luthor is a wuss and decides to leave a robot to do his fighting for him. Man just wasn't built to fight us. The robot did take out Wonder Woman and we had to switch over to Superman, but hey, robot was taken out with relative ease. Superman then drops this hilarious joke: "That's the best you have to offer, Luthor? Call your lawyer." Yeah, that's a real knee slapper there, Superman. Haha. That's probably how my jokes sound to you guys. After Luthor straight up admitted that this whole thing was just some big diversion, we head to the second mission, where Superman starts punching some ships midair. After finishing up punching some ships midair, Superman and Wonder Woman decide to go back to the Watchtower to talk with the gang about what Luthor's up to. Batman then points out that there's been a lot of people under mind control, in which Flash chimes in and is like, hey, maybe if I get Hawkgirl under some mind control, then maybe I can get a date with her. And that's the origin story of Flash becoming a villain. Yeah, just kidding, Flash was just trying to spit some game. But anyways, another radio frequency comes up and is all like, hey, yo, Gotham is under attack, and so is wherever the fuck Wonder Woman is from. I don't even know how to pronounce it, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Flash is back at it again, attempting to go on a mission with Wonder Woman to go to a homeland that's only inhabited by women.
Kids on the Amazon.
He gets properly shot down. We really gotta find this guy Flash a girlfriend, because girls around him clearly don't care for him. We head out to Wonder Woman's homeland with the team being Wonder Woman and Hawkgirl. We then run into this weird guy who I kind of recognize as a character who is a supervillain in the Justice League TV show, but I don't remember his name or really anything about him. And we promptly beat him up. Wonder Woman then tries to get him to talk, but he doesn't, so she uses her little lasso of truth on him, and the truth comes out, and he admits to being hired by Lex Luthor to destroy Wonder Woman's homeland. We don't know Lex Luthor's motivation for destroying Wonder Woman's homeland. Maybe he just hates it because he can't pronounce it, kinda like me. Maybe he just hates women. Speaking of that, how did this guy even get into Wonder Woman's homeland? He's clearly not a woman. We then go on to the next mission where we pick up as Batman and Flash in Gotham City, and Flash unfortunately got a date with Batman instead of Wonder Woman or Hawkgirl, who decided to go on a little date of their own. After fighting our way through Gotham, we eventually run into Batman's best friend, the Joker. Flash then demolishes the Joker. It was almost a little too easy, and it felt a little bit wrong using the Flash to kill the Joker as opposed to Batman. Turns out this whole thing was all for nothing because Joker was simply hired by Luthor just to serve as a distraction for Batman, and nothing more. Meanwhile, Green Lantern and John, the Martian guy, are hanging out in a volcano. They then ran into Star Sapphire, and luckily Flash wasn't here because he would have instantly started flirting with her. Without Flash there to fall in love and protect her, Star Sapphire stood no chance against Green Lantern and John. They did interrogate her afterwards. She didn't really give much information other than the name of the little group, the Injustice Gang. What nerds, that's so lame. Back at base, the gang comes together and realizes they need to find Lex Luthor's command center. Batman says he's got a few clues, so everyone decides to split up and look for some clues, Scooby-Doo style.
First thing we'd better do is split up and search the school for clues.
We park up in Mother Russia with Lex Luthor talking to some weird villain who I can never remember the name of. Gosh, I can never remember the name of any of these DC Comics villains except for the Joker. Oh no, wait, that wasn't actually some supervillain. That was John disguised as some supervillain. Now he's talking to the Flash, and then boom, an alarm goes off. They were found. Gee, I wonder how the heck they got found, just talking out in plain sight like this. Real head scratcher. We then run into that one villain that John was disguised as earlier, and this time it's legit. It's him. We beat him up. We beat him up pretty easily. This game so far has been a lot of fun, but I gotta say, some of the boss fights are pretty easy. Almost too easy. This is a lot coming from a guy like me that likes the video games nice and easy, because I suck at video games. I just play them for the fun of it, and I think this is a little bit easy. Batman and John then run into each other and meet up. John reveals that he can't fly because of some issue with the technology or something. which is kind of foreshadowing for stuff that's going to happen later. Batman then gets into a fight with the Jet and wins the fight with the Jet because he's Batman, and they reconvene at the Watchtower. We then go on to the next mission, in which Green Lantern and Wonder Woman are deep in the jungles of Central America. We then run into this weird, sexy cheetah type lady, and then she claims that this whole thing is a diversion or something, which I think is some information that we already knew, so hate to break it to your sister, but you're not giving us much info there. Wonder Woman wants to keep chasing her, which is something I'm sure the Flash would fully support if he was present. After traveling through the jungle and the deep dungeons that we meet with it, we finally come face to face with the boss. And it's this big stupid guy that I actually remember seeing in the Justice League TV show that I recently watched, but I can't remember his name. He then straight up tells us that the cheetah's base is on Thailand, and he does it on accident. And honestly, I would think this was a really weird dialogue choice if I didn't go back and watch the TV show and realize that stupidity is just a part of this guy's character. We then go on to the next mission, which is being spearheaded by Green Lantern and the Flash. And Green Lantern is the next superhero that cannot fly for some bullshit excuse. We then work our way down to Cheetah's lair and come face to face with her. I'm sure Flash was a very happy camper when he saw her. I then decide to only use Green Lantern in the fight, fearing that the Flash's sexual desires will get the best of him. Green Lantern, he's a man, he didn't let that happen, and he beat Cheetah in this fight squarely. We then head to the next mission, in which Batman and Hawker are our two heroes, and Hawker can't fly because she got hurt. She had another hero can't fly. Doesn't really bug me that much, which is kind of weird. After surfing on these various platforms for a while, we then finally make it to the boss. It's this big monkey dude with this big brain. Once again, don't remember his name, but definitely remember him. Naturally, we beat up the little bitch, but some satellite's activating right now and we must destroy it. And I gotta say, this final mission here, I kinda struggled with a little bit. Most of the game was relatively easy, but this mission here was also relatively easy. But I really struggled with it and made it a lot harder than it needed to be. I finally finished this mission after what felt like 200 tries and move on to the final mission. Back on base, Batman figures out that Luthor's base of operations on the moon, and Hawkeye correctly points out, how the fuck did we miss that? The team then decides to split up, with some of them going to Earth to defend the Earth just in case Luthor decides to attack, and others going to the moon to take out Luthor. Naturally, it's Batman and Superman that go to the moon to take out Luthor. We are just destroying everything in our sight on Luthor's little ship. The gang then comes face to face with Lex Luthor, and Luthor kind of admits his plan. Well, his plan was to work with these little alien guys. The alien guys turn over the Justice League to him, and he turns over all of planet Earth to the aliens. Don't know why the aliens were on planet Earth. Believe me, I love aliens. This planet is useless. Anyways, now that I'm done trying to make some super dumb sarcastic joke, we head to the boss fight. I gotta say, this boss fight was easy. It was really easy, almost a little too easy, especially for the final boss. Just like that, the game was over. We saved the Earth from these aliens potentially enslaving the entire human race, which I personally consider to be a dub. Alright, and for my review of the game, I'll go on to the bad first. As I mentioned throughout the game was pretty easy. The game on top of that also had incredibly cheesy music. The soundtrack was horrible. I could not listen to it at all. A lot of the dialogue was a little cheesy, especially the whole stupid little excuses for them not being able to fly. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fine if they can't fly. Just the stupid little cheesy stuff makes no sense. But overall for the game, I gotta say, I really enjoyed it a lot. It had a fun gameplay that was very enjoyable and didn't really have any noticeable glitches. I also like it how in each mission you get a different pair and a different duo. Like, you never have the same two superheroes together on one mission. You always gotta have the little different dynamic with each one of them. And I thought that was awesome. And the game's storyline was actually not bad either. Like, it's kind of a storyline straight out of the Justice League TV show. But shoot, the game's based on the TV show. It kind of makes sense as to why that's a thing. Overall, I'd play this game again. It was enjoyable. It really was. And if anyone else has a chance to play it, I recommend it. Great game. Thank you so much for everybody listening to me for rant and ramble for almost 10 minutes straight. It had to be the longest 10 minutes of your life. But thank you so much. And if you like the content, consider liking and subscribing for more. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.